Okay, for the drawing today, I'm going to do a young female portrait. I kind of like this photo. It's a little screenshot off TikTok. So I like to get inspiration from a lot of different places. I don't know anybody right now that I could draw, so I just go with photos from online so I can practice my painting. So pretty much just using a small rigger and black color to try to get the basic shape of the face. I still don't think I totally got the chin right, but overall I kind of did it. She has really cool eyelashes. So it's going to be kind of fun to try to paint that later. So I'm just going to give a quick sketch here and try to get the basic features right and the composition right. The try to make everything have the right sort of proportions. And it kind of looks like it's kind of difficult sometimes when people, you almost kind of want to like bring out their features, but you don't want to exaggerate like a caricature. You know, I mean, nothing wrong with caricatures, but that's not what I'm trying to do. I don't know. Don't exactly know what I'm trying to do, but I don't like hyper realistic, and I don't like the cartoony type stuff that I did in the past. So I'm trying to branch out and go more painterly. And one of the ways I do that is once I get my basic outline here in black, I will paint directly on the same layer as opposed to painting a layer underneath. And that way I can kind of blend it all together and make it look a little bit more like a quote unquote real painting. One thing I thought about that I forgot to do, I really should start doing washes before I start this, like actual painters do with real paint, and just go a basic color over the whole thing before I even start. I think that might help. But anyway, now I'm gonna go in with I forget what this is, some sort of peach color. Anyway, this is I always try to start with something that I think is a mid tone or kind of on the I feel like there should be about four basic values in a face, maybe. I don't know if that's a real thing. That's just something I made up. So I kind of go in with a little darker at first, and then I go slightly lighter, and then actually there's probably way more than four, probably more like six. So this is kind of this silk color is kind of like my next to the brightest, and then I'm kind of going in with some darker. I don't know what color that is, but it's sort of similar. Yeah, cadmium orange is what I'm doing here. Sometimes the makeup kind of blends in with the actual skin tones, so it's kind of hard to tell sometimes what's shadow, what's skin tone, what's makeup. Overall, I kind of like it. I think the nose might be a little dark, a little too orangey, but I may fix that here in a sec. Really just trying to get some basic shapes down using the different colors to kind of sculpt the face a little bit more and try to get the proportions right. And I'm going in with a lot of loaded mop on this one, more than I usually do. It's a little bit faster, and I can change the thickness of it, and that really helps to kind of bring in details, but also kind of add in some little color values here and there. Normally I'd be going in with like a small filbert or a rigger or something else, but maybe even a brush. Here in a minute I'll use a fan brush though. And I kind of like the grays that kind of mix from the black paint in with my skin tones. I think that actually kind of helps a little bit. Yeah, fan brush. I'm using a fan brush basically just to smooth off the edges so it doesn't look quite so choppy. Even though choppier sort of kind of paintings look cool. I wish I could do. I don't know. There's a better way than saying choppy, but where you can really see like a bunch of brush strokes. I think that looks really cool. And I'm using a fan brush here. I guess kind of like a makeup brush in a way to add in those sort of reddish pink sort of makeup highlight sort of stuff. Just continuing with the fan brush, a little bit of kind of greens and darker greenish. I don't know what you'd call that. There are different types of bluish green colors to kind of add in a little bit around the shadows around the mouth, face. She has kind of a lighter skin tone, so now I'm planning on adding in kind of a bluish green background like I normally do, so that'll probably blend in some. And just trying to figure out the nostrils here. And I move around a lot. I'm assuming real painters do that. Once I have a color that I like and kind of a size I like, I go through with several different things to try to, add in a little shading all over the face. And now I'm just trying to add in a little background with a palette knife just to get some separation there. That'll also kind of shape the face a little bit better. So now I'm going to go in here, try to zoom in a little bit so we can see a little bit better, and I'm going to go in with different types of reds. And I don't quite get the actual pigment right, like what she was using on her lipstick, but I have a tendency to go probably a little too pinkish on the lips, like it's made up. But there's like the part of the lip that's kind of folded up that's around the teeth, and then there's a part that sticks out, and then there's a little part that kind of folds down. So especially with somebody like this that has really kind of fuller lips, you're gonna have to kind of give it some three dimensionality. I'm going in with I think it's a perfect round and I think a small rigger are the two things I'm going to use here. Try to go in with different layers. I go in with a little darker, then I make it a little lighter, and try just to give some fullness there. I don't want to go too dark, but I'd like to make the lips have some shading there. It's really kind of a tough thing to get them to look right because of the way they're wrapped around the teeth. Also, it's kind of tough sometimes to draw teeth without making everyone look, too caricaturish. I don't know, too cartoonish. The more I look at the nose, I kind of like it though. It's not as bad as I thought it was. A little darker than the rest, but I'll fix that in a minute. Yeah, you just gotta divide those lips, the upper lips. A lot of times I would do this again, very cartoonish with big point there right in the middle, and some shininess on the top, and it looks okay, but kind of it's like a style. It's like stylistic. It's not really realistic. And I am trying to realistically draw this where it looks kind of like the person, at least as a jump off. And now I'm just trying to figure out a decent color of blue to go in for the eyes. And I kind of want to add a little bit shadows to the teeth. The eyeballs and are not perfectly white. You know what I mean? There's going to be some shading in there, some shadows. So you just got to figure out: do you want to go bluish? You want to go reddish, brownish? What are you doing? In this case, I'm going kind of blue, like a bluish gray. Yeah, now we're going to go in. I got to add in a little bit more shading there underneath the mouth. I'm still trying to work on the way the lips curve around the mouth. I'll come back to that in a minute. Right now, I'm going in with the perfect round. Get some basic sort of shininess on the hair. I probably could have done a wash over the whole thing with just a grayish color, and then kind of added in my highlights and stuff. And that's kind of what I'm doing here, but I am giving a little bit of a streaky sort of hair follicle sort of vibe. I'm also taking this opportunity around the face to try to make the chin or the cheek look on her right, our left cheek to look a little bit more like what it's supposed to look like. I still don't think I totally got it right. I think her chin's a little bit off, but oh well. Small rigger of black paint. I don't really like using the black paint, but she has really dark hair, so hopefully that'll help add in a little bit of lines here. We gotta have some lines. It's also nice to have a little bit of contrast. We'll also do that around the eyebrows and the eyelashes. Kind of revisit that and try to add in some contrast. Also got to do darken the pupils and that type of stuff. So here we are. We're gonna try to do those cool eyelashes. Try not to screw it up. And I'm pretty much, I guess this is kind of accurate. Let's see, yeah, lighter. I want there to be a little bit of more, some kind of lightness. I'm not going with the little spotlights and the pupil type thing like I normally would, but I do want to do lighter and darker blues in the eyes to make it look like it's not quite just these blue things shining out at you. You know, if I was doing a hyper realistic thing, I probably would, but I'm trying to make this look kind of like an old school painting. That's not kind of what it is, but anyway. You know, it's not the little those little light parts on the eyelids are pretty cool looking. I'm still not crazy about this nose. It's a little bit too dark for the rest of the face. And it's tough to draw that right side of that lip, but I'm trying to get something going there. I need to add in a little highlights to separate that. I need to look up my lip sort of terminology. I'm sure there's all sorts of like little terms for whatever. I always just refer to them as lips, but they've got to have a weird name, a weird like Latin name for the lips. Anywho, yeah, trying to get this face to kind of have the same shape. I think I made the cheeks a little bit too full. Darn it! I think I should have made her jaw a little bit thinner. I'm gonna go in here in a second, I think, and try to fix some of that if I remember right. trying to add little brown highlights here to the hair to give it a little bit of. And for some reason, my little drawing pen kept screwing up. That's why you keep seeing those weird little things show up. I don't know where to get a replacement though, or at least a new replacement. Yeah, now I'm trying to fix that nose a little bit, because the bridge of the nose, or I guess the little bulbous part, needs to be shinier than the rest. Probably could add a little bit more light parts on the nostrils too, but whatever. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching.